We've visited over 120 areas so far, wards, departments, support functions, talking to staff about how they're living and breathing our care values on a daily basis in their work. And some of those conversations have sparked some real actions and thought processes for staff, how they are living them, with some really creative ideas. And also as well, I talked to them about reaffirming their care values by making a pledge what they're going to enhance, do differently, going forward to enhance the patient's experience or their colleagues' experience at work as well.
In paediatrics, for our children's ward, we had difficulties over successive winters of children coming to the ward and us having difficulty knowing how to prioritise the sick ones who needed to be seen quickly against those who were probably well and could go home quickly. So we developed our children's assessment unit pilot this year, which has run really well, and I now think we can resource those children who can be seen quickly and go home, separately from those who are sick and need to stay, by having separate pathways that work in unison, but are dealing with the different types of population.
We've got a great team in the ESD, the Early Supported Discharge team, who helps when the patient's left the unit. So we really work well together, and I think we've had some fantastic results. And it's great to see where we are now. I mean, just by coincidence, this morning I was looking at some old correspondence, looking at some letters that we'd had from the East Midlands network saying that we weren't doing quite as well as we could have done, and we were down towards the bottom of the pile, and could we bring ourselves up a bit? And now we not only just have brought ourselves up a bit, we're right at the top of the pile, and it's fantastic, it really is.
When I started working within patient safety, and particularly with a focus on digitisation, our efforts were focused on delivering projects that were answering a specific need, and all of our energies would seem to go into fixing a problem. The way that we work now is on a cohesive strategy delivered over several years, working towards a full electronic patient record. But because we're looking at the full strategy rather than fixing one problem, we're not taking our eye off the ball in other areas.
Our strategy for Newark is focused on continuing to develop and broaden the range of high quality services that we provide locally for the people of Newark and surrounding districts. High quality services are provided by engaged staff, and our staff at Newark are an extremely engaged bunch. This year we've seen more people access our outpatient clinics than ever before. We've continued to broaden the range of day case surgical procedures that we can provide, and we've introduced more medical day case procedures under rheumatology and gastroenterology specialties, providing the opportunity for patients to receive their care locally rather than having to travel to hospitals further afield.
Not only have we got a MultiToff, which is a machine that will speed processes up, we've also got something called a Galaxy, and the Galaxy is the only machine we've actually got in the country. So we're very lucky to have that on site. It's speeding up the actual process of identification, which therefore speeds up the whole process of identifying somebody with sepsis, which therefore means that the clinical outcome can be improved. And hopefully, if somebody doesn't have sepsis, they can go down the pathway of being discharged a lot earlier.
We're really proud of the feedback that we've had from the women who've used our services, and we've been voted as one of the best places in the country to give birth, and I think everybody's really pleased to have that recognition. We work very hard to provide a high quality service, so it's great to hear it from the women. We have a very family orientated service here, and it's nice to have the local families coming to use our services, so that's great.
Occupational therapy, it's a rehabilitation workshop, okay, and it involves woodworking. That has an impact on their confidence. So as the motivation gets on, they're more confident to do things, and that confidence has an impact on their independence. And the whole objective of the occupational therapy workshop is to get that patient home as independent as possible.
The physiotherapy has been absolutely key in my rehabilitation, and I was in a wheelchair when first diagnosed, and I've worked my way out, and I've continued and I've taken up Tai Chi and Pilates.
The staff have been absolutely brilliant. There's always a smile, there's always a welcome, and I look forward to coming to my cancer clinic once a month. We do have to come every month for a review, and it's not a hardship. It's a pleasure to come. We're greeted well, the staff are always absolutely fantastic.
Throughout this aftercare journey, that the Kingsmill staff here, both the physiotherapy department, the psychology department, the complementary therapists, the lymphedema nurses, have been superb to get me where I am here today to be able to speak to you about it.
So the R&I plans and ambition really matches with the Trust's strategic priorities and values. We think research is really integral to our journey to becoming an outstanding Trust. The research portfolio has developed massively over the last few years, and we're really working closely with our staff on the front line to get them involved in research.